saying an eye for an eye, the hypocrisy. It's Christian plus saying an eye for an Control by the sixth over after losing 2 wickets chiefly.
Unless anything specific that I haven't
Good morning.
Good morning, Honorable DS.
Recording in progress.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Very well. How are you, DS? Rabona uiterekile waitukisa usenje.
No, akutshwanele wena me a ke nyetse ntho. Welcome, honorable members and parliamentary staff on the platform. We hope you had a good rest last night. Let's start. And I'm told there are apologies that we should note of the Speaker, of Ngatin Tombela, of the Deputy Chief Whip, of the Majority Party, and of Mr. King. Is there any other apology we need to consider?
Deputy Speaker, just to indicate that House Chair Ndombela will be in attendance until 9:30. So if we go, he will leave. Thanks.
Okay, no intention to go there that time. Thank you very much. Let's proceed. Let's look at the agenda. I assume that there is no intention to change the agenda this morning. Is this okay? Yeah, the agenda is okay. It appears okay. No indication to change. Let's proceed. Who proposes?
I propose, Chair.
Thank you, Ndatelwati. Who
Pemi
second?
Matodina seconds. Pemi Matodina is second, Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I'm going to Honorable Pemi Matodina. Let's proceed to the next item there. That class, I think you should take on matters arising.
Deputy Speaker, I would propose that we first look at the minutes. And
oh, by the way, yes,
okay.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. I don't know what's wrong with my head this morning. Any corrections, please indicate if there are any connections that you see that you have noticed, honorable members. I do hope that honorable members had sight of these minutes and read them, and this is why there is no indication of a correction maybe there. Any proposal for us to accept the minutes as a true record? Any proposal for the minutes as a true record?
My hands up, Honorable DS.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Matodina.
Thank you very much, Honorable DS. I move for the adoption of these minutes. We are struggling to hear you, Honorable DS, with due respect because of your earphones. So we are struggling. You are not audible. Hence, we take time to respond.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, you think it's because of the? Oh no, let me do this.
Give me halaye you can send that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Honorable members, anybody who seconds Honorable Machudina's proposal to accept
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Speaker and colleagues. Our hands are up. I'm not sure if you are incapacitated to look. I would like to second.
Okay, thank you very much, Mebrod. Thank you. The minutes are therefore accepted as a true record. Okay, thank you. Matters arising.
Deputy Speaker, if I may, sir.
Go ahead, Ndati.
Yes. The first item is the presentation that would have been done by the Electoral Commission either today or tomorrow. That session has been postponed until further notice. The Commission will inform us of the new date. The second one, Deputy Speaker, is about public hearings that were cancelled. We have a request that this item be presented next week. We have submitted a report to the Honorable House Chair, and he has asked us to just attend to a few issues on the report. So the report is not ready yet, and it will be presented next week. The third one relates to the committee section. We were asked to attend to the issue of the committee section and the issue of the permanent appointment in the committee section. We are in discussions and initiating that process so that there is no further delay in terms of implementing that directive. Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And maybe the last item, the bill referred to as the intelligence bill, just forget the actual name of the bill, General Intelligence Laws Amendment Bill. It's been certified by the Office of the State Law Advisor, and we are expecting the bill to be introduced in the course of next week. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else noticing something we may have missed in matters arising? Okay. Let's proceed to the
Honorable DS.
Yes, ma'am.
I think just for records, I wish to appreciate and congratulate Parliament on how it has received the fourth time champions, the Springbok. It was a very beautiful event. I just want to put that on record, that hoping that for other sporting codes will do similar if they are available to be celebrated. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Whip. Okay. Anybody else on the matter?
Okay. Deputy Speaker.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't put my hand up. I just wanted to echo the Chief Whip's sentiment and just thank the parliamentary staff for the hard work. It was far more organized and arranged as opposed previously where it was a little bit it was more difficult previously, but this time it was very well arranged, and I just wanted to express my appreciation and my appreciation to the Chief Whip for scrumming with me. Push, it was very well done. Thank you, sir.
I also wish to express my appreciation of your struggle correctly to be diplomatic in the language you deploy. You succeeded. Thank you very much. Honorable Kwankwa.
Well, I note the comments of the Chief Whip of the majority party and Honorable Steve Swart as we wait for the country to create hype about the fact that the Proteas are in the semi-finals. And we'd like to see the country start wearing the Proteas shirt, and us as Parliament treating the Proteas and any other national team that plays out there the same way that we treated the Springboks. Thank you, Chair.
Dade Kwankwa, may I just inquire, when you say you note their comments, do you mean you agree, or what do you mean?
I note. I don't have to agree. I note them.
No, I'm asking, yes, that's what I needed clarity on, that you just note.
I note, Chair.
Okay.
I note them. Thank you.
Okay, I'll talk to you about it next time. Thank you very much. All right, let's go to the next item on the agenda. There is Ms. Giba.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Good morning to you and to the honorable members and to all my colleagues. I present the report of the committee section, bills before the committees of the National Assembly. I will start with slide number 2. On this slide, we give a summary of all the bills before the committees. There are 43 bills before the National Assembly committees. 19 of the 43 are Section 75 bills. 1 is proposed Section 75 and 17 Section 76. 3 are proposed Section 77. We have 6 other matters and 1 statutory appointment and 13 petitions before the committees. Deputy Speaker, with your permission, this report has not changed since we have last reported. I would like to highlight some areas and progress made with regard to priority bills. And my report will start from slide number 3. Slide number 3 and slide number 4, we are giving an account of all the priority bills that are currently before the committees. You can move to slide number 4. Then I will move to slide number 14. Number 14, I'm giving a progress update on the first priority bill, which is the National Small Enterprise Amendment Bill before the Portfolio Committee on Small Business. That committee aimed to finish the bill on the 30th of November. Next is slide number 15. The Public Procurement Bill before the Standing Committee on Finance. The committee still need to provide us with updates on how they intend to proceed with the bill. Slide number 16. The Independent Police Investigative Directorate Amendment Bill before Peace on Police. Their program is as reflected on the slide, and they aim to finish the bill on the 22nd of November 2023. Slide number 17. The Electricity Regulation Amendment Bill before the Portfolio Committee on Minerals and Energy also has got a program, and they are currently conducting public hearings, and they aim to finalize the bill by March 2024. Slide number 19. The 2 bills before the Portfolio Committee on Trade and Industry, the first Companies Second Amendment Bill, as well as the Companies Amendment Bill. The Portfolio Committee is intending to finalize the bills on the 14th of November. Slide number 20. The National Prosecuting Authority Amendment Bill before the PC on Justice and Correctional Services. We will update the slide as the information becomes available on its finalization. Slide number 21. The bill before the PC on Public Service and Administration, the Public Service Commission Bill. The aim to finalize the bill is March 2024. Then we move to slide number 24. The last priority bill before committees is the Copyright Amendment Bill, the bill that was returned from the NCOP for concurrence. Its aim to finish date is the 21st of November 2023. Then on the next slides, Honorable Deputy Speaker, slides 25 up to slide 33, we are just giving information about the medium-term budget policy statement and related instruments, and the information remains the same as we have reported last week. We will update these slides as we get the updates from the committees. Then the last reporting slide will be slide number 41. On this slide, we are reporting on a petition that has been processed by the committee. The committee intends to finalize the petition, a delivery for the Department of Basic Education and national government to eradicate pit latrines in Eastern Cape, KZN, and in Popo rural schools. The committee intends to finalize that petition on the 14th of November. And this concludes my report, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Giba. Honorable members, with your permission, shall I proceed to the next Dr. Mbata on the committee, on the bills.
Good morning, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Good morning, honorable members. Our report as well, Deputy Speaker, hasn't changed since we last reported. But I need to indicate that in the ATC last night, the Select Committee on Security and Justice reported on the Prevention and Combating of Hate Speech Bill with proposed amendments. The bill will be considered by the Council on the 15th of November, and it will then be referred back to the PC on Justice for consideration of the Council's proposed amendments. And again, Honorable Speaker, the bills before Parliament list that we've provided to the committee today, we've taken time to indicate the dates when the houses will be deliberating on the bills so that it can be easy for honorable members to see when each house will be deliberating on the bills without going to the program. And we will also be following up on the translation of these bills and working on the translations so that when they are passed by Parliament and they will be sent to the President for assent without any delays. With your permission again, Honorable Speaker, can I hand over to my colleague, Advocate van der Merwe, to give a report on Constitutional Court deadlines? Thank you.
Go ahead. And remember that I'm the Deputy Speaker. I gave you an apology of the Speaker earlier on. I didn't say I'm taking over.
Yeah, we need drama. We need drama, Ganja. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. Good morning, Deputy Speaker. And good morning to all the members. Some feedback from Constitutional Court judgments where there is a suspended order. There is a new order, court order, but it's not a new matter. This matter was considered, in fact, by Parliament as a committee bill. It started in 2018. And the bill was almost ready for introduction when the department indicated that they feel that there's a need for further consultation and perhaps a review of the whole act. And the committee bill was accordingly halted. Now, we weren't concerned at that stage because there was a remedy that the court provided that continued to apply. But the department then approached the court to ask for an extension of the order. And the court, in fact, then supplemented its previous order and provided a 12-month period within which the defect must be addressed. Now, the department did brief the Portfolio Committee on Home Affairs on 24 October 2023 and indicated that a bill is almost ready for introduction, and it will be very similar to the bill that the committee, in fact, developed. So there is progress on that. But still, the court's remedy will apply even if Parliament does not achieve this deadline. So there's not really a concern on this. It seems that it is progressing well and that it should be finalized in time. The next slide, just some progress on other matters. On the regulation of interception and communications amendment bill, the Amabungani matter, the committee has reported the bill without amendments at the beginning of November. On the Marriage Act and the Divorce Act, here the department on the Divorce Act, the committee considered both a private member's bill proposing to amend the Divorce Act and an executive bill proposing to amend the Divorce Act. And in the end, the committee decided to accommodate the private member's bill in the executive bill and proceeded with the executive bill and then reported that a motion of desirability on the private member's bill was not passed. So this bill, the divorce bill, was reported as well, and it is ready for second reading. In respect of the Marriage Act, the department briefed the Portfolio Committee on 24 October. Now, we are a bit concerned on this, and the last time I reported, I also indicated this concern. The order lapses in June 2024. Now, given that it's an election year, 2024 is already something of concern for us if something lapses in that time. and we briefed the chairperson of the committee on this as well. The department then came to brief the portfolio committee on 24 October and indicated that they are targeting to introduce a bill in April of 2024. Now, even if 2024 was not an election year, 2 months is not sufficient for Parliament to consider a bill. It is a very contentious situation. It is very difficult. There are very many things that the department has to take into account with this bill. So it is understandable the time that is being taken, but there needs to be an application for extension. Our office has written to the department more than once, and we followed up again now to ask when are they going to ask for an extension of this order. The court has indicated that they do not appreciate being approached late in the day. If we at this point in time know that introduction will only be in April, then this is the appropriate time to ask for an extension. The department indicated to us that our inquiry was referred to the Director General, and we're awaiting a response from them. On the next and the last slide then, the Centre for Child Law, here the order lapses September 2024. And what happened is that the Portfolio Committee on Justice included a remedy for this matter into the Cannabis for Private Purposes Bill, and the Portfolio Committee reported that bill beginning of November. Then a new matter that I reported last time as new, also the Divorce Act, but this will require a new bill. It is not covered in the current amendment. Just to confirm that an opinion was sent to the chairperson, and we will then monitor progress on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Chairman, please let the department know that we don't accept this April deadline. They must bring forward that deadline. It's important that we not be put in unnecessary pressure because of delays and heading on the time frames during an election year. It's inappropriate, and we would appreciate that they also respond in time to matters that we relate to them. Please communicate that to them.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I will do so.
Yeah. Honorable members, any comments on this report? The bills,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Hanif, Suviwe, Wahube,
Hendricks.
Soma, in that order.
Hendricks.
Yes.
I've
Thank
given
you,
the order,
Deputy Speaker.
I've given the order, said, don't give yours.
Thank you,
The
Deputy
order-
Speaker.
Yes, go ahead.
The issue of late filing and tabling of legislation is an issue which you have raised, the Speaker's raised, we've all raised it this term. And I think what the Advocate van der Merwe has raised, she doesn't give, unfortunately, we each need to read that judgment of the Home Affairs matter. There was a scathing judgment against the executive, and a cost order was given against the minister and the DG in their personal capacities. The Home Affairs Minister has to pay 10%, the DG 25%, because of the delays that took place. And there's a scathing judgment where the judge speaks about a feeble affidavit to blame the inordinate delay on the enactment on remedial legislation on the COVID pandemic and the fired Parliament. And then, Deputy Speaker, there's criticism of Parliament. Now, I'm sure the Speaker did not file an affidavit, but it says Parliament itself was not spared. A grim excuse that members of Parliament were focused on the national elections in 2019. And the court said this was an acknowledgement on the face of it that campaigning for re-election was far more important for members of Parliament than meeting the deadline for the enactment of the remedial legislation. I just raised this, Chair, as a concern, and I'll raise it again this afternoon, about the delays which we've continually raised, now particularly in the run-up to next year, that we can't be found wanting again in this regard, given the fact that the orders are given against Parliament. I'm grateful for the mechanism now, Advocate van der Merwe, that she has put a mechanism in that we are monitoring this, but this is a really scathing judgment. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Swart. Hanif, Honorable Hanif.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I don't know if this is good news, But you know that there are two priority bills, and that is the marriage bill and the divorce bill, and the deadline we heard is the 24th of June next year, and there are challenges in meeting those deadlines. Yesterday, I met with the Minister of Home Affairs, and both of us confirmed that the reasons for these judgments is because the nikah of Muslims were not regarded as valid South African marriages, and the Concord said it is. The minister has now confirmed that the first nikah has been registered on the National Population Register, and that a valid South African marriage certificate has been issued. So the department is all geared up to address the judgments of the court. So that means that Muslims are no longer harmed, that when they do a nikah, it is a simple procedure for it to be on a National Population Register. Now, with regard to the divorce amendment to the Divorce Act, the Constitutional Court, because the nikah wasn't on the National Population Register, Muslim women and Muslim children could not access the divorce court, and also people of other religions, their religious marriages. Now that the nikah is in fact on the National Population Register, marriage certificates are issued. We have complied with the Concord order in Al-Jamaah's opinion. The legal eagles may feel different, Deputy Speaker, but I feel that it's important not to, to have wasteful expenditure, waste everyone's time, because we've addressed the order of the Concord. We also know that the cabinet is busy with the one marriage statute. So there's no constitutional court deadline for that. That can take its time. So I thought I'll just bring that to your attention, Honorable Deputy Speaker, that in our view, we've met the Constitutional Court deadlines. If the committee, the Portfolio Committee on Justice, if they want to pursue amendments to the Divorce Act, I feel that it's a waste of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, they will give their view at the appropriate time. Thank you very much, Honorable Hanif. Honorable Suviwe.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Just to follow up on Honorable Steve Swart's comments about that judgment. I think this is when we discussed this matter several weeks ago about the deadline that we had set as Parliament. This is one of the things that we are trying to run away from. But I just thought, let me just maybe ask Deputy Speaker, because the Speaker had undertaken to meeting with the LOGB a couple of weeks ago, and undertook to give feedback as to whether or not, have the executive bills now finally come to a stop in terms of those that are being introduced. But I'm hearing about bills that are intending on being introduced next year. So can we get an understanding, maybe from CASO or yourself? Have we now given a proper deadline to the executive to say that there can be no more bills that are coming before Parliament before the end of the term? Or, are they allowed to introduce bills as and when? Because I worry if the latter is the case, then we're going to have more and more judgments like that one, where we are found wanting as Parliament, and we are told that it's because we want re-election over lawmaking. But lawmaking is a long process, and we need to give due diligence to that process. Thank you.
Okay. Deputy Class, do you have an answer to Honorable Gahu?
Deputy Speaker, the engagements between the Speaker and the leader of government business, we will get a report on that from the Speaker as to what the progress is on that front. But Deputy Speaker, as we had indicated before, the date of the 4th of September was given And of course, some bills came before that. And there are bills that have since come after the 4th of September. And the understanding is that to the extent that Parliament is able to process those bills that came after the 4th of September, they will be processed. But those that can be processed, obviously, will go into the 7th Parliament, because the 7th Parliament will decide whether to revive them or not to revive them. But the commitment from Parliament is still there that the executive must give a clear indication of what is the priority before the next elections. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we must communicate. It's not just whether there are priorities. We must also communicate the risks of doing it in that way, because it is important to communicate every aspect of the matter, not only that which we prefer. So thank you very much. Honorable Lesoma.
Good morning, Honorable Deputy Speaker and the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, as well as honorable members and officials on the platform. Chair, I will put it differently so that I don't seem like I'm copying. But having said that, Chair, one is that, is there any way okay, so probably let me say that the bills that has got court judgment in terms of the deadlines, I will recommend that we agree that the bills office on our behalf approach the court and seek for extension of time instead of us then putting courts on under pressure, and then we're not our expectations are not met. That's one. Two, Chair, is there any way legally in terms of processing the bills that those bills that are before Parliament or for whatever reason have been referred back to Parliament by courts, that the committees, I know Justice Committee does that, but generally in all portfolio committees, they do that. They own those bills instead of waiting for the executive to reprocess those bills, because they would have been tabled before Parliament. And my understanding of that is that the bills that are before Parliament, they have separated from the executive to Parliament, and Parliament must see to its logical conclusion, as it were, without short-circuiting the processes that are supposed to be undertaken. The last one, Chair, which I know the Chief Whip of the Majority Party raised it last week, but I think it's important also to re-raise it here to ensure, again, that the community education unit, I think it must be closely monitored to ensure that the public participation programs, they get the internet result, as it were, because it's of no use for committees to go for public hearings only to find that there is I want to choose a better word, not to be harsh, but sort of not expected outcomes in terms of the mobilization of communities and stakeholders to come to the public hearings. And I think that one, it has been a trend, and I know in the Parliament Financial Management Committee, it has been raised, and I think it must be paid attention, in particular on bills processes. Thank you very much, Chair.
Honorable Soma, I plead with you in future to talk straight. Don't be diplomatic, because then you create confusion. You don't clearly understand what you are saying. You must be explicit. If it's harsh, we will survive it. The Chief Whip will arrange systems for dealing with our hurt feelings, but that's fine. Please, let's talk straight. It's important to say that we shouldn't be allowing people talk about public hearings, people don't turn up, and the reasons we don't understand what that is all about. So it's better that we speak that way. But
no, if I may, Honorable Speaker, no, I thank you. But also, we're dealing with human beings. But honestly, they shortchange us in terms of the public hearings. Honestly, from the two bills that have been involved, there's nothing you can take home and smile with. Thank you.
Oh, okay, next time you will talk more. I'll give you a chance to talk more. Thank you. Honorable Papo.
I think members have raised various concerns which have previously also been raised, particularly on bills which have constitutional deadlines. But I think we also agree that we should not also close the door for any amendment to any bill, because there may be situations where we have to do amendments. Like, for example, if the Constitutional Court makes some decisions on the Electoral Amendment Act, we may have to actually convene. As long as Parliament it's not dissolved, we have a responsibility. For example, the whole doping situation may require us to act so that there's compliance. So I'm just saying that, having talked about the issues of the Constitutional Court deadlines, we should not say there's no room for any bill which must be submitted, because something may happen which forces us to actually do it. But I think you are right, Speaker. We should improve in all the areas, including public participation, and we should say it the way it is. I just wanted to indicate that, and Mr. Singh also raised that issue, that if Parliament is not dissolved, lawmaking continues. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Always remembering the risks of doing so. So the committees will make judgment on those questions of the bills that are coming their way based on their agenda and the possibility and the risks involved politically and legislative risks, because we deal with the courts as well. So a proper assessment should be made about those things. Honorable Froelich.
Good morning, Honorable Deputy Speaker, and good morning to the colleagues. Just a few things, Honorable Deputy Speaker. The first one is that a report has been made available to me, as Mr. Kaso said earlier. There's a few issues in the report on public participation that I must attend to. I received it late last night, and that report will be ready for tabling next week. Secondly, in terms of what the Honorable Swart, Honorable Kwagube, and others have said in terms of legislation, and then especially Constitutional Court deadlines, we must keep in mind that this is not a new matter. It happens every time before we go to an election. I think there's a misalignment between the urgency of the matters that must be dealt with between the departments and then to Parliament. Because we find, and there's numerous examples, that just on the eve of an election or on the eve of a Constitutional Court deadline expiring, we find the department now dumping, literally, the legislation into Parliament and then claiming that they've done what they were supposed to do. It's now in the hands of Parliament, and our program doesn't speak to that. What we must also do, Deputy Speaker, in terms of the urgent matters, is really in the hands of the programming committee to decide until when Parliament will sit before the elections, when we will go to constituency breaks, and so forth. So we must take that into account in terms of the urgent matters that need to be dealt with, and we must program it accordingly, even if it means that in certain instances, certain committees must be allowed to process matters towards its logical conclusion. Then lastly, Honorable Deputy Speaker, let me express my appreciation to the Honorable Hanif Hendricks for the cooperation and also his willingness to assist with his staff in dealing with the Divorce Amendment Bill, and also now the efforts he's making in terms of dealing with the Marriage Amendment Bill. We've had numerous meetings, and I know we interacted with the Minister on a lot of occasions, as well as the Chairperson, and we are glad to say that indeed the progress would not have been achieved if it was not for his proactive nature in dealing with things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate members when they act in that constructive, deliberate, helping us reach solutions. Thank you very much. Honorable members, any comments on what has been presented and responses before we move to the next item, which is programming? Honorable Tseke, please take us through programming.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker, and good morning to everyone connected, including the Chief Whip of the majority party and all the Chief Whips of the opposition parties. The program is as follows. For this week, questions to, or for today, questions to the Deputy President are scheduled for this afternoon. And on Friday, we'll have 2 virtual mini plenaries from in the morning up until 12 o'clock or 12:30. Please note that the report from Portfolio Committee on Sports, Art and Culture is no longer scheduled, as it has been established that it is a budgetary review and recommendation report and will thus be scheduled in the National Assembly plenary for declaration in due course. Next week on Tuesday, the 14th of November, the following bills are scheduled for consideration: the Marine Oil Pollution Bill, your Divorce Amendment Bill, Regulation of Interception of Communication and Provision of Communication-Related Information Amendment Bill, Cannabis for Private Purposes Bill. As indicated, there will only be declaration on all the justice bills. A debate the very same day on the 14th, a debate on the report of the Chief Whips Forum on benchmarking study visits to Ireland and Kenya is also scheduled. On Wednesday, the 15th, questions to the Social Services Cluster and the debate on the revised fiscal framework and revenue proposals are scheduled for that day. On Thursday, the 16th of November, the virtual mini plenaries on members' motions are scheduled. Subjects for discussion from the EFF is still outstanding. Go down, yes, is still outstanding. And lastly, Deputy Speaker, a virtual members workshop session is scheduled for Friday, the 1st of December. That's the end of the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Cheke. Members, any comments on the programming? Thank you very much. It's very clear. Yes.
There is a request by the Minister in the Presidency for a statement, executive statement on the census 2022. And my understanding is that the programming whip will be proposing a date for that, but there's a request for that executive statement.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Secretary, you'll give us the date so that we inform members about that statement when you've agreed on the date. Thank you very much, honorable members. We've done the work of the meeting today. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, DS.
Recording stopped.
Thank you, DS.
Thank you.
We'll talk
DS
about there's a problem of capacity. We'll talk about it.
Thank you very much, DS. We missed you.